Okay, let's dive into securing your data in Azure Storage. It's one of the most common services out there for sure, but it's also one of the easiest to get wrong. Getting the security right from the get-go is absolutely crucial, and we're going to break down exactly how to do it layer by layer. And really, this is the first question you've got to ask yourself. When you spin up a storage account, it gets a public endpoint, and by default, that endpoint is open to the entire internet. So our job is to go from that wide-open default to a completely locked-down, secure state. So to make all this make sense, we're going to use a pretty simple analogy. Just think of your data as treasure, right? The crown jewels. We're not just going to build one wall, we're building a multi-layered fortress around it, where each layer gives us a whole different kind of protection. All right, so here's our game plan for building that fortress. We'll start on the outside, with the network walls. Then we'll move inside to the main gates, and who gets the keys. After that, we'll figure out how to handle temporary visitors. And finally, we'll lay out our complete security toolkit. Okay, first up, let's get a really clear picture of the landscape and the challenge we're dealing with thanks to that default setup.
And this is it. This is the default state. Now, it's designed to be easy to get started, not for maximum security. What this means is that anyone from anywhere in the world can try to hit your storage account's endpoint. And that's exactly why our very first move, building that network perimeter, is so incredibly important.
So let's get to our first layer of defense and see how we can build a really strong perimeter. We're going to fundamentally change who can even knock on the door in the first place.
We are shifting from an open door, everyone's welcome policy to a super strict guest list only approach. We're going to use the storage account's built-in firewall to say only these specific virtual networks and these IP addresses are allowed to talk to me. Everything else? Denied. Simple as that. Now, the magic that makes this happen is something called a VNet service endpoint. The best way to think about it is like a private, secure tunnel that goes directly from your approved networks to your storage. And here's the critical part. That traffic never, ever touches the public internet. It stays completely on Microsoft's own secure backbone network. And the best part? Setting this up is surprisingly easy. It's a three-step process right inside the Azure portal. You just go to your subnet, flip a switch to enable the service endpoint for Microsoft Storage, then hop over to your storage account firewall and add a rule allowing that subnet. And boom, you've just built your outer wall. Okay, our network perimeter is up. Awesome. Now, let's talk about who actually gets to hold the keys to the main gate. This is all about authentication and authorization. Every single storage account comes with 2 of these access keys, and you need to think of these as the master skeleton keys to your entire fortress. Anyone who has one of these keys has full admin control. They can read, write, delete, they can do everything. They are incredibly powerful, so you have to handle them with extreme care. The best practices on this are crystal clear. These keys are a huge risk if you don't manage them right. You should never, ever, ever embed them directly in your application code. Instead, use a service like Azure Key Vault. And you're given 2 keys for a very good reason. So you can update your apps to use the second key, regenerate the first one, and then switch back, all without any downtime. So while those access keys are needed for some admin tasks, there is a much better, much more secure way for day-to-day access, and that's using Azure Active Directory identities. Instead of one super powerful key that opens everything, we grant very specific permissions to specific users or apps. It's the principle of least privilege in action. And this just shows you the power of role-based access control, or RBAC. Look how granular we can get. We can give an application the storage blob data reader role, which lets it read files, but gives it 0 ability to change or delete them. This massively shrinks your risk compared to just handing out a master key. So, we've secured the walls, we've secured the main gate. But what if you need to give a visitor, like a client or maybe a third-party app, temporary, limited access to just one specific room inside the fortress?
This is where the Shared Access Signature, or SAS token, is an absolute lifesaver. It's basically our temporary guest pass. It's a specially crafted URL that has all the permissions baked right into it. It's a super secure way to delegate very specific access without ever handing over your master keys. Now, what's really cool is when you actually dissect the SAS token itself. Each little parameter in that URL is a rule. We can set the exact start and end time it's valid for, the specific resource it applies to, like a single file, the permissions it grants, like read-only, and even which IP addresses are allowed to use it. And that signature at the end makes sure nobody can tamper with it. Now, for even better control, especially if you're managing a whole bunch of these SAS tokens, you can use something called a stored access policy. Instead of defining the permissions and expiry in every single token, you just define them once in a policy on the storage container itself. Then, your SAS tokens can just point to that policy.
And this is a super critical point about revoking access. See, without a stored access policy, the only way to cancel a leaked SAS token is to regenerate the master key it was signed with. That's a huge deal because it instantly invalidates all the other tokens signed with that same key. Using a policy is so much cleaner. You can just modify or delete the policy and access is revoked instantly with no collateral damage.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's take a second, recap all these tools, and put them together in one place so you know exactly which one to grab and when.
Think of this as your security toolkit cheat sheet. Each tool has a very specific and vital job in our layered security model. The firewall is your outer wall. The access keys are your master keys. Use them sparingly. Azure AD/RBAC is for your trusted users and apps, and SAS tokens are those temporary passes for all your visitors.
And that's really the main takeaway here. There is no single magic bullet for storage security. The strongest defense, the most impenetrable fortress, comes from combining all of these layers together. You need the network controls, you need the right authentication method for the job, and you always have to apply the principle of least privilege.
And that leaves us with one last really important thought. Building the fortress is only half the battle. The other half is monitoring it. How do you know who's coming and going? How would you detect a threat that's already inside the walls? That is the critical next step in having a truly robust security posture.